Now let's move to some benchmarks that actually matter, because I've seen some videos online where people saying get this NVMe or this SSD because it's faster, it's 15,000 megabytes per second. That is not really truthful. In fact, a lot of the times this is just fake benchmarks, okay? Because I hope you understand that at this point, this is not true. But what I have here is a quick system benchmark. What this test does is it takes the SSD and tests it as a secondary drive. When you just have one drive on your system already, where your operating system and programs are on, for example, and you're using the secondary drive, perhaps also on an external SSD or some kind of a secondary drive where your secondary files live on, not the main files, okay? The secondary drive is used lots of random read and write speeds all over the drive, and it's tested in that way where you're doing light workload on a secondary SSD. And as you can see, if you don't see these numbers, they're too small for you, then scan the QR code and go check them out yourself so you can actually dive a little bit deeper in there. But on top of the charts there, we've got Kingston Fury Renegade and Crucial T705. They are one of the best ones on the top there. The first Gen 4 drive we've got is somewhere over here, and that is the Samsung 990 EVO, which is interesting. It's not DRAM cache drive, it's a host memory buffer drive. But on this graph here, it's a little bit easier to see that you've got some very high-end Gen 5 drives right on the top there, then slightly slower, a couple of percent slower, doesn't really matter in terms of performance. And then this slowly start to trickle down until you get to the Gen 4. And as you can see, between Gen 4 and Gen 5, there is about 25% difference. So this is 25% roughly what you're seeing in there. But the secondary drive as well, not all drives need to be DRAM cache drives. Yes, there is certain workflows where that is important, but I would say that this 990 EVO, for example, in there, and some of the later updated Gen 4 drives that don't have DRAM cache are performing very, very well in this test over there.